Any other interesting things you saw at the SNK headquarters? Were there any like unreleased? I think I heard you talk about online something or other. Was it a hardware thing?
Pocket Station.
Yeah, maybe.
That was interesting.
What was that like?
Neo Geo Pocket consoleized.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if they were going to release it. There's rumors that it was. There's other rumors that it wasn't. Usually the rumors that it wasn't just come from maybe other, the so-called experts, and you just wonder.
Did it change the graphics at all, or
no, it was just
okay? So it's kind of like, have you seen like the Game Boy players for like say the?
Yeah, like they had the cartridge that you plugged into the Super Nintendo.
They had one for the GameCube for the Game Boy Advance. So.
Yeah, it was like that. But this was a consoleized, dedicated. Mm-hmm. It had you put the Neo Geo Pocket cartridge, and it had the controller ports, and so I had that. SNK of America had a museum showroom. When you walked out, I said I should have took pictures of everything, but actually there are photographs of it. Replay magazine on the cover of one of their magazines shows the SNK office. They show the president and a few of the sales staff with all the cartridges, the AES cartridges in the background. One of the other magazines had a picture of the president with the cartridges in the background, because they had every release. They had a showroom, the museum of the arcade cabinets, the 4-slot, the 6-slot, the mini, the irritating maze cabinet, the Hyper Neo Geo with the gun, the Beastbusters cabinet. I do have a picture of me in the showroom, the museum, with me and the president standing in front of the irritating maze cabinet. And I was there doing our negotiations because I wanted to get the ROM. I wanted to talk about the joystick version. So I do have a picture of that cabinet. I didn't take a picture of the entire show. That's why I said always, if I go back in time, I would take photographs of everything. And plus, I've been to 3 of the different SNK America locations, and I didn't take pictures of. I took a picture outside the last one, because I think a lot of people have seen it online. I'm standing there and it says SNK Corporation of America, but I should have took them every time I was there. The same in Japan. I have some pictures of Neo Geo World, but I don't have the pictures of when we went to Neo Geo Land or the SNK offices of Japan or the Neo Freak magazine offices. I didn't take pictures there. Why didn't I take pictures? Always take pictures.
So what type of things did you usually do in your visits there?
Tourism and business. It was business pleasure. When you go to Japan, you might as well be a tourist.
Oh yeah.
See everything you can. And still, we were there and still went to the SNK offices. And we was always talking about what's down the pipeline. It would be like an invitation. You'd come and you'd see and you'd meet with other distributors and you just discuss some of the pricing. Okay, I want to take this, and you play it, and you sit and play it and see if you like it, and read they had their testing, and you read some of their papers. Oh, we've sold this many, the units this many here, and that's how you did. And then they would just show you pamphlets. Okay, these are our sales, like a pie chart and graphic chart, and you'd say, okay, let me try that. Okay. But I wish I would take pictures of those, or I wish I would have kept so many papers that I threw out when we were originally dealing with them, even the original invoices or boxes, the 6-pack boxes that the cartridges came in, and the 12-pack boxes. I threw all those out, or I just mailed them to people when they bought a lot of games. I would just tape them up, and those are collector items now. Just the boxes. It's amazing. Yeah. Like I said, hindsight is 20/20. I can go back in time, change, do a little different, keep more records, keep more inventory, keep more. I would have photographed every single thing before I mailed it out, or I would have done it in higher resolution. A lot of times when the computers were meg cards or RAM cards were small, you tried to save space, so you used lower image resolution. I got these pictures that are like that big. I should have just used the maximum setting, or spent a little more and got a better camera, spent more money on memory cards.
Okay, let's see if there's anything else. I think we've actually covered,
We're covering a lot. There was
any
I wish I would have had the other bust to show you. I wanted you to see an official one between.
Is there any SNK staffers that were especially interesting to deal with or anything?
No, they were all pretty nice people. The second crew was a great crew. The one before last was a really good crew. People seem to remember them because during the internet time, people remember the sixth crew, which was a family-based crew. It was a husband, his wife, their daughter, aunt. Really nice people. It was the Barone family. Very nice. They really would help move the pocket, the Neo Geo pocket forward. Like I said, I met them, and I exchanged a lot of emails with their daughter, and she was always providing me information on all the new releases at the time. Even though we were dealing with SNK Japan, but we still talked to them because they were the contact here in the United States, and they would tell us what was planning on doing this or what they were going to do when they were telling us about the newest games coming out for the Hyper Neo Geo, for example. And I would always tell them, and I tell you, I was a fan of the Hyper Neo Geo, so I was always like, why don't they do something more, bring out more games? And I was surprised when they stopped and went more forward with the MBS again. But after them, there was another, all Japanese, it was the SNK of America, but it was Japanese based. I think they brought people from the SNK of Japan to replace the sixth crew, and it was all Japanese. So then it was a different dynamic. The way you have to deal with an American to the way you deal with the Japanese. The Japanese, it's very ritualistic. You go through a chain of command. Even if the guy's in the office, he won't answer the phone or something unless it goes through his secretary to put you on hold for about 4 minutes before he picks up, and then it's courtesies before you even discuss business. Yes, hello, weather, good morning, and how's the family, and you had to go through pleasantries. It was just a ritualistic. Even when we went in person, it was very ritualistic before we got down to business. Whereas before, with the sixth crew, I could just get in there and really be ourselves and talk and get right down to it. But each one has their own benefits, and it depends on what you can mix well with. And Japan is a history, has a long cultural history, so they still abide by a certain way of doing business, which is sometimes it can get lost in translation. You're like, why? We just talked about this yesterday, and you have to go through the same ritual again the next day. Interesting, but it opens your eyes to how business is done on a worldwide level.